If this is going to be $750 some, shut up, birds. Shut up. Shut up. So it turned out it was Nintendo all along. We all kind of thought that Rockstar would be the first one to kind of like break that barrier on that $100+ game. You know, tax not included, and depending on your area. But somehow we all forgot about Tears of the Kingdom. I hated that game anyway, but I still paid for it. I still bought it. I thought it was garbage, but I still bought it. Nintendo wanted that thing to be like $70. We should have known at the time if that was going to sell, then that would be the standard, and it looks like it's the standard. Doug Bowser from Nintendo, yeah, Bowser, is calling it variable pricing. What that means is that their first-party games are going to be like $90, okay? That's what their idea of variable pricing really means. It's not going to be $40 for this one and then $50. You bought a Switch 2 in this case, for the Nintendo games. To Nintendo, the Nintendo games, the first-party games, are going to be premium games and they're going to cost $90. That's just the way it's going to be going forward, with a few exceptions here and there probably. Now, in my area, I'm already paying $120 of my own funny money for a PS5 game. Right, so I got the one expensive console, and now I'm going to have another expensive console. And I went on the Nintendo Store website, and I made that I got an expression of interest, as they call it. They're trying to fight scalpers, and what that means is that on the Nintendo Store website, if you sign in with your Nintendo account, and you have 50 hours playtime in the last 2 weeks or something like that, and the account is a year old, you can express interest in buying a Switch 2. And there goes the birds. And you can essentially, like, buy it straight from Nintendo. And I did that as soon as I could do it, and it worked out to be just about $700 in my currency to do that. And it said I'm going to get an email back May 8th if I'm approved to buy a Switch 2. And the Amazon situation, I pre-ordered my PS5 off of Amazon. That's the one I was going to go with Switch 2, but it looks like they delayed the pre-orders because of the tariff situation. That is what it is. But maybe this whole thing, I mean, my whole life, maybe it's just a bunch of bullshit. You ever think that? Maybe your life just a bunch of crap. Okay? It's video games. Doesn't matter. You know what else? I bet you the best video games that will ever come out have already come out. So Nintendo, right now, in terms of the Switch 2, they're competing with themselves. They're competing with the past. I think pretty soon, people are just going to figure out how to pirate stuff. They already know how to do it, but this time it's going to be for real. I think I see people playing old Nintendo games. What are the most popular Nintendo games right now? Mario 64? Look on Twitch. They're competing with themselves. As you get older, as a company who's released a lot of products, especially digital ones that can be passed around, you gradually begin to compete with yourself. Is Mario Kart World going to be that much better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? People already have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They also might have Mario Kart 64, Mario Kart DS, those games. And the new generation of people, they know how to get them. Okay? It may be that the best games that ever will come out for mankind are already out. And they're on Steam. What's that mean? Steam Deck. It's cheaper than the Switch 2. If the Switch 2 pre-orders start up again, and the price goes up, if that goes up $50, I'm probably not buying it because this is just crazy. If this is going to be $750 some, shut up, birds. Shut up. Shut up. If this is going to be $750 in 2025, comparatively speaking, I'm not getting much compared to what I got for the same price almost as a PS5 5 years ago. A PS5 5 years ago, for what I paid for it, wasn't a bad deal, right? But the Switch 2, what you're getting, what, a portable PS4 Pro? Amazing. Isn't that amazing? And all the games are going to cost as much as a regular PS5 game. $120 for me. How much is it in your area? So if they're raising that price, I'm not pre-ordering. But if Nintendo chooses to honor the original price that I expressed interest for on the Nintendo Store, I'll still go for it. I'm going to be working the 2 pre-orders, one on Amazon when it comes up, when it stops being delayed, and the Nintendo Store one, and whatever one's cheaper, better. But if it's going to be more expensive on Amazon, and they don't honor that original price on the Nintendo Store, the $700, I'm out. This is crazy. I can't do $700 of my own Monopoly money for a Switch 2. It doesn't make any sense. Just to play Metroid Prime 4 at a reasonable frame rate, right? Isn't that crazy? And I guess you get mouse features, but you don't get Mario Paint. And you get Mario Kart, which Nintendo thinks is a premium value. That's a premium game, Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart 8 in general sold so much because people knew exactly what they were getting. It was as far as you could push the original Mario Kart design style. Mario Kart World's an unknown quantity. It's very different. I'm very interested in it. But I really don't think that's going to be a $90 freaking experience. Okay? And if you look at the chat at the Nintendo Direct, let's just say nobody was discussing the games. Nobody. And I bet you there's some executives at Nintendo that are a little bit spooked. Just a little bit, right? My forecast on this is that the Switch 2 is going to sell. It's going to do well when it launches, but they're going to be spooked about it. I'm forecasting right now a decent launch. Not amazing. I'm forecasting good enough. But in the long run, I don't think this is another Switch situation. I think this is an iterative console. Traditionally, consoles that are iterative for Nintendo don't sell as well as the console that it had originally come from. Like, the Super Nintendo did not sell as well as the NES. Wii U obviously did not sell as much as the Wii. 3DS, I don't think it sold as much as the DS. So, iterative, bad. Not launching with 3D Mario or a new Zelda game, also bad. Okay, so if we just read the tea leaves, the Switch 2 shouldn't do good. But it's Nintendo. So I think they're going to be fine ultimately, but are they going to have to be fine without me? We're all learning about variable pricing. Maybe Nintendo's going to learn about variable purchasing. So we're going to see how that plays out for me. But right now, I'm still on board. But I mean, I'm seeing normies bring up the Don Matrick comparison. Remember Don Matrick from the Xbox One launch? Doug Bowser just basically said, we have a platform for people who can't afford the Switch 2. It's called the Switch 1. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing. But people are drawing the conclusions. And I think when Joe Normie starts to see Xbox One in their mind, that's bad. That's automatic bad. Okay? And I have never, ever seen hype go from this high to this low that fast in my life. For as long as I've lived, I've never seen hype go that far down low. There's a reason they didn't show the price in the Direct. When I was watching the Direct, I could feel the hype. It was unbelievable. And then as soon as it was over, we found out about the price. We found out about like the $90+ games. We found out about they're not changing the pricing or changing the tiers on subscriptions. They're not. The tariff situation is going to really, really bite them in the ass. Look, from what I've been reading, Nintendo intentionally moved all their production for Switch units and Switch 2 units to Vietnam to avoid tariffs. Haha. They got fucked. Oops. Trying to be sneaky. We're going to move it to Vietnam and save a penny. Looks like you're not. Looks like I might be saving a penny, though. I'm the one saving a penny if I don't buy it. Imagine that. So yeah, that's what's going on. And it's just been a crazy week, right? I've never seen hype get this low. And a small microcosm of that would be the Duskbloods. I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I saw the Duskbloods. I could not believe the trailer at the Direct for Duskbloods, how amazing it looked. Because it really, really looked like Bloodborne 2. And I bet you that was Bloodborne 2 at one point. Until Nintendo said something, or they wanted a multiplayer game, or whatever. Because now it's a PvPvE. Person versus environment. It's probably going to be good, but it's not what you wanted from like a new Bloodborne game or a Bloodborne 2. It's not a single player game. So I'm probably out on it unless the reviews say it's awesome. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that just goes to show you the nature of this Direct. Huge, huge, huge highs. And then one day later, you're basically contemplating a freaking sumo slide. Because this is the level of low we're going to with this new Direct. And Nintendo, my recommendation would be to try to save face now. You kind of can. It's been done before. Take the loss. Look, you're selling it at cost, allegedly, in Japan. They're selling it at cost. They're selling it cost plus in the West. Take the hit. You made a shit zillion dollars on the Switch 1. Would it kill you to take a little bit of hit on the Switch 2? Sell it at a loss. It's been done before. Sell it at a loss in the West. It's been done. And you can bounce back from it. When you give the user a valuable experience, you're depositing money into your brand account that you can withdraw from when you're doing bad, like in the Wii U days. Are those days back? Anyway, those are my quick thoughts on the Switch 2. And are you in or are you out? I'm tentatively in, but we'll see what happens. If the new price comes through and they sort it out with the tariff situation and it winds up to be more expensive and Nintendo doesn't honor my original pre-order, I'm out. But maybe we don't need those video games. Maybe we don't need the Switch 2. I don't know. Let's just all go back and play the PS2. Why not? Why wouldn't you? I mean, can you honestly say that this new stuff is that much better? Maybe this is just us calling their bluff. You know? Put $1,000 tariff on it. If I couldn't afford it at $700, I wouldn't be able to afford it at $1 million. Right? The average person couldn't spend... Okay, they couldn't afford $500. They couldn't afford $400. They couldn't afford $300. They couldn't afford $200. They couldn't afford $50. They might be able to afford, I don't know, $1? Maybe $1. Maybe they can afford that. Why not just tariff it $1 trillion? If you can't afford one, what's the difference between $1 and $1 trillion if you can't afford any of it? I mean, you're losing somebody who's been there day one for a long time. And that's that.